Good evening, you're watching Estuary TV News. Coming up, the flower of Lincolnshire, blooming Caister to be a riot of colour. Stand up for steel, Scunthorpe continues its campaign to keep its heavy metal. And I'll be talking to John Trevitt about Immingham Museum, amongst other things. Welcome to Estuary TV News. I'm Hugh Riches. First of all, it's over to Richard Morris for the news headlines.
Hello there. 4 businesses have been named and shamed for not paying staff minimum wage and ordered to pay workers back a total of more than £11,000. Today, the government named 70 companies across the nation, including local traders in Hull, Little Wheaton, Withensea and Scunthorpe. Little Wheaton's station garage was ordered to repay £5,440 to 2 staff, and Shirley Elvin, trading as station garage and engineering in Hull, had to repay £4,840 to 1 employee. Also named were Faster Fit Tyres in Scunthorpe for underpaying someone £719, and Headquarters in Withensea ordered to pay back a staff member £430. Business Minister Joe Swinson said it was illegal, immoral and completely unacceptable, adding that naming and shaming sends a clear message to employers not to ignore the rules. A ward has closed on Grimsby Hospital due to an outbreak of diarrhoea and vomiting. Dr Peter Cowling, the Trust consultant microbiologist, said that although the illness is unpleasant, it only lasts about 24 hours. People should remain symptom-free for at least 48 hours before returning to work or visiting their GP. Social housing tenants in North East Lincolnshire are to see a 2.2% rent increase from April. Shoreline Housing Partnership own nearly 8,000 homes formerly owned by North East Lincolnshire Council. Shoreline says the rise is in line with the government formula for setting rents, which go up on April the 6th. Caister has been chosen as one of the final nominees in the Large Village category for Britain in Bloom. This summer the results will be revealed and they've got high hopes for the award. They've previously won Gold and Silver Gilt awards in the categories.
Well, there are over 1,000 entries in Bloom throughout the year, and only, I think this year only 70 have been chosen. So we're one of the 70 out of 1,000 that have been chosen. So we do feel pretty pleased with ourselves. And as Britain in Bloom were telling us, you know, it is great to be chosen out of that amount of people.
And you can find out more about that in tonight's show. That's all from me for now, and I'll be back with more news soon. If you've got any news for us in the meantime, then please call us on 01472 31553. Bye for now.
It's a massive operation involving around 65 people from the village of Caister, but this year the community is seeing the fruits of its labour. Caister has been nominated as a finalist in the Large Village category for Britain in Bloom, up against 2 other villages, one in Scotland and one in York. Richard Morris puts down some roots.
It might not look like much behind me right now, but this garden culminates 3 years of hard work for Caister in Bloom, and now they're being rewarded with a national nomination for the Britain in Bloom Award, and they're thrilled to say the least.
Well, there are over 1,000 entries in Bloom throughout the year, and only, I think this year only 70 have been chosen. So we're one of the 70 out of 1,000 that have been chosen. So we do feel pretty pleased with ourselves. And as Britain in Bloom were telling us, you know, it is great to be chosen out of that amount of people.
We did it last year. We got through last year, and we're pleased all together. We've all pleased got through, and I'm pleased to be through again myself now all together.
It's a massive year-round project involving many volunteers. Just because a village wins a category one summer doesn't mean that the hard work stops there. The villagers put in hundreds of hours of work, and the gardens will soon once again be looking incredible for the summer for the next round of judging.
We have 62 volunteers, and a lot do a lot more, and a lot do just a bit. But added up, I would say that we do at least over 2,000 hours a year, and you know, we do big tidy ups, and that usually is about 2 to 4 hours every 2 or 3 months, and then we do projects, tree planting, bulb planting, you know, sort of generally tidying areas and making them nice.
In the past, Caister has won both gold and silver gilt, and they're hoping for more wins this time around.
You're watching Estuary TV News. A little later in this programme, we ask the questions of the little kids of East Hulton Primary School.
We are from East Hulton Primary School.
And Dan Kemp will bring you all the sports news. I'm joined now by John Trevitt, luminary of local television, but today here to talk about Immingham Museum, music, amongst other things. John, welcome to Estuary TV.
Oh, pleased to meet you again, Hugh.
Well, I should introduce you properly. This must be a little bit like coming home for you, since you were one of the great founding fathers of local television.
Well, you say so, and thank you for saying that, but it was with a team effort. There's a lot of people involved, of course.
Well, you were
yes.
very heavily involved in Channel 7.
It was
But
a long time ago.
you're not here to talk about that. You're here to talk about the Immingham Museum.
Yes.
What's your connection there?
Right. Well, I've always had a passion for Immingham as a town, and indeed, of course, Immingham Studios being based there with Channel 7. But I've always had an interest in the docks and the railways of Immingham, and as fortune would have it, I found myself in a position whereby I could help with the museum since my retirement. And what we've done there, we've moved from our original location at the Resource Centre to the Civic Centre. With the great help of Immingham Town Council, who I have to say have been absolutely magnificent, and the councillors of Immingham. I know it's quite an unusual thing to talk about and say in these days, but I can only speak very highly of
We rarely appreciate local government.
Indeed, they've been fantastically efficient and proactive. But and then more recently I became one of the curators, one of two curators at the museum, and a trustee as well. And my responsibility is for the history of the docks and railways. And in that role, we've managed, with the help of, I must mention, the volunteers who help with this, Mike Hartley, John Tyndall, Brian Bell, and there are many others as well, who've helped build a massive model of Immingham railway system, particularly centred around the loco shed that was there for 100 years.
So this is a model of Immingham as it was.
At
about the founding of the docks in when
1912 that opened, and as did the railway in Immingham, and the model is attracted a lot of interest. We've had people from all over the country come to see it, and we're very proud of that, because it's very interesting to be able to show people, indeed local people as well as people from away, the huge developments that are going on, that have gone on and are continuing to go on in Immingham in terms of the port and the transport systems and so on.
Well, as a very serious historian, as social and economic historian, this sounds fascinating, because boys, toys.
Oh yes.
Wonderful. How big is the railway?
It's enormous. It's 42 foot long, and with up to 100 locomotives. Or there will be when it's finished. We jokingly say if you come in 27 years' time, it just might be finished. And if anybody out there would like to give us a hand, please come down to the museum and offer your help and support.
Well,
but yes,
it sounds. I mean, it is.
huge.
It's a never-ending project, isn't it?
Because
the more detail you can add, the more research you can do, it's inexhaustible.
It is, and even more so because we're quite unusual as a museum. Of course, we talk about the past, as you would, but we also talk about the present and the future. And I think one of the things we want to talk about at the museum to visitors is the continuing development of Immingham. Already the centre of Immingham has been redeveloped. I know there's issues over Tesco's, but broadly speaking, that's a very successful development. But we're now on the cusp of a huge development if Able UK fulfil their plans.
Well, this is the renewable energies industry.
Absolutely.
It's coming to the hum, but we all pin our hopes on that rather. But Immingham has for a long time been the busiest port by dry tonnage in the UK. This island trading nation, the island trading, the maritime trading, has largely been going through this little town of Immingham.
Absolutely, and it's amazing the number of people who are employed in moving things. Logistics might be a fancy word for that, but in terms of people in the offices, drivers, and all the rest of it. But in terms of railways, Immingham is the busiest rail freight operation in the whole of the United Kingdom, with up to 120, 130 trains, freight trains a day coming in and out of Immingham. Nowhere else in the country is that busy. And it brings rail enthusiasts from all over the country to see this operation, which is truly awesome in scale and so on, and developing and growing all the time.
And it also gives Immingham an international aspect, as all ports have, of course, doesn't it?
yes.
The Humber is a sort of an extension of the Rhine. It's the route from central England into central Europe.
Location is everything. If you go due east out of the estuary, you come to Hamburg. I mean, you're right. You know, that's the main
The
route
Elbe.
through.
I got the wrong German river. The Elbe.
Yes,
then,
yes,
forgive me.
indeed. Yes, but it's quite a fantastic location. And of course, with the renewable development, it's going to be. I genuinely believe that this area, coupled with the whole developments in Hull, I don't think we'll have ever seen such a large number of new jobs created in such a relatively small geographical area in such a short space of time. I think the phrase is just watch this space, because that is going to have a dramatic effect upon this area, this sub-region, and hopefully all for the better.
Your enthusiasm for the logistics, the railways and the preservation of the history and
Yes.
the examination of the future of that extends down the line a bit to Cleethorpes.
It does indeed, to the wonderful building with the number one.
Number one pub in
The number one
Cleethorpes.
pub and associated buildings. Original 1863 listed buildings. For my money, for what it's worth, I think the most important and significant building of its type in Cleethorpes, and indeed in this area.
Now, this is a rather elegant Victorian seaside railway station
Yes.
in Cleethorpes, and it is the end of the line
Yes,
there.
yes.
And it has two pubs, the number one at platform number
Yes.
one, and the number two at platform
Under
number
the
two.
clock,
I should
yes.
mention the number two because the beer's so good there.
Yes.
But the number one, it has the plan is going to be to turn it into create a sort of an exhibition there.
Well, yes, it's linked it's in a soft way within the museum. We've got some artefacts on display at Cleethorpes that are relevant to Cleethorpes railway history. And Dave Snook, the wonderful landlord there, by the way, the beer is wonderful at the number one as well.
Of course.
But Dave Snook uses a phrase, he calls his pub a pewseum, which I think is rather nice.
Right.
It's
Little amalgamation
it's a bit of a history
of
there
two
as
good
well.
ideas there. We must talk about the music, John.
Yes, just to talk about the landlord as well. He's a fantastic singer, and I'm very fortunate I'm a drummer in my retirement, and my band is called the Capital Band, and we're the house band at the number one, which once a month Dave kicks out his regulars
must love
and
that,
transforms the room in a little over half an hour into a mini nightclub. And it's just a wonderful atmosphere there. And we had the wonderful Leo Solomon playing with us last 2 weeks ago. It was a fantastic night. And Dave's singing was brilliant
Your
as well.
band is not, I mean, brilliant as it is, talented as it is, it's not noted for its youth.
No. Well, I play on that side. I play with three other bands. The band I play with every Tuesday night at the Bird's Eye Club is the Dixieland Band, and the keyboard player is 90.
Right, a spry and healthy 90.
Believe you me, he can play those ivories. He really is still full on at 90.
So
it's remarkable. It's hope for us all.
He would have been learning his trade, back in the 1920s, 1930s?
In the 30s, yes, and he was a squadron leader at Bimbrook as well. The wonderful Frank Baker I'm talking about. So if anyone wants to see the wonderful Frank Baker on keyboards and the rest of the band, two others are in their 80s as well. And early 80s.
And
yes.
where did this remarkable flying keyboard player learn how to play the ivories?
Oh, well, one night he said, oh no, I can't repeat it really, but
it's no
he
worse than Louis
jokingly
Armstrong,
said
really.
in a very posh tones that he learnt his trade playing the piano in the brothels of Freeman Street. But
that's where Satchmo learned to play the trumpet in the same circumstances in New Orleans.
He was joking,
as well.
of course. Yes.
Just quickly remind me, where's your next gig, John? Before we
Right, tonight I'm at Bird's Eye Club with the Dixieland Band. That's every Tuesday. Every Monday I play in Scunthorpe with the Apex Band. And every Sunday lunchtime we've started a new Sunday lunchtime jazz event with Sunday dinner at St James Hotel, and that's with the Mollamore Quartet.
And very quickly, how can people get in touch with the Immingham Museum?
Oh, I haven't got the number with me.
That's right.
Just phone the museum. It's open Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Lovely. John, thank you very much for coming in. The Stand Up for Steel campaign in Scunthorpe has received support from a locally famous face. Jake Quickenden, who unsuccessfully appeared on X Factor and unsuccessfully appeared on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, has lent his support to the campaign. Dave Nunn brings us reality TV.
He's one of the biggest names in Scunthorpe. Now he's back to help offer his support to the town's biggest industry.
I'm supporting Stand Up for Steel. Basically, I'm from Scunthorpe. My family are from Scunthorpe, and I've got a lot of friends and family that work at the steelworks. And I know how important it is for our community and for the whole of Scunthorpe, really. How many people's jobs are at risk if the steelworks does shut down, and how it'll pretty much affect Scunthorpe with not having the steelworks. So I just think it's important to get behind it, everybody get behind it, and try and keep the steelworks going, because at the end of the day, if you're from Scunthorpe, you all know somebody that works at the steelworks.
Since his stint in the jungle, his popularity has soared, and his support of a major campaign such as Stand Up for Steel is a boost to the already popular campaign.
I don't know. I'm not really thinking about just me being a big name pushing it. I just think everybody should get behind it. Like I'm doing it because I want to do it, and I think it's important for Scunthorpe. And my brother works there, my mates work there. I used to work there, so I know how important it is, and I know how it gives young lads opportunities. I went in as an apprentice, as a bricklayer, so it gives people coming up an opportunity to get straight into work from college or after university. So I think it's a must for everybody from Scunthorpe to really get behind it.
However, Jake says it's something everyone should get behind, especially in a place such as Scunthorpe.
Yeah, it's the personal connection. If that's like I say, I used to work there myself, so I know how important it is. So getting involved for me, it wasn't even an option. Like I wanted to do it straight away and help get the message across, really.
Time now to ask another big question of some small people. These, the pupils of East Halton Primary School.
We are from East Halton Primary School. How do we stop people committing crimes?
I think we should get some more faster police cars, and faster police motorbikes and more horseback police.
At night, because it's like buildings are defenseless, we should put like sensors like on the roof, near the door, or if it's morning, you should like have another sensor or a camera, so other people can see who's coming and if they have dangerous stuff or not.
We should put some CCTV cameras on the shops which sell drugs, because that's the main problem, because of people are too drunk.
Maybe we should build more police stations, so if you see someone committing a crime, it will be easier to phone the police, or be easier for the police to get here, because there'll be more police stations around.
We need more canine units around and more police officers patrolling where there's hardly any police. So there could be CCTV cameras in each corner of the houses, or they could be installed in a shop.
Just what's going on at Hessle Town Council this week?
I've literally just finished a meeting, which is one of our communication committee meetings, where we go through our town magazine, which goes out to the whole of Hessle, and it goes out 3 times a year, and it really lets everybody in Hessle know what's happening within the town council. I think the biggest thing that is happening just at the moment is some time ago now, we lost our police station in Hessle, and we had a long conversation with East Riding as the council and with the police authority, and they didn't reach any satisfactory conclusion about having a police presence back in Hessle. But what we've been able to do is persuade the town council They didn't need much persuading, obviously. But the police can use a room within the town hall, and they're going to have a presence here every Saturday morning and every Monday morning. It will be staffed by 2 members of the police for about 3 hours in each session. There'll also be a contact point, so when the police are not here, members of the public will be able to press a button and actually talk to a member of the police force, which is a big improvement on where we are now, because, as I said, we lost our police station, and the number of bobbies on the beat, in inverted commas, has been vastly reduced. So that's a really big plus point.
Now over to Dan Kemp for all the sports news.
Scunthorpe United host Barnsley tonight in their push for the playoffs. The Iron have a 2-point advantage over their opponents, and despite being in 16th position, they're just 5 points from 6th place. Ex-Scunthorpe striker Sam Winnell is set to miss out on returning to his former club through injury, while Gary McSheffrey is pushing for a recall. Grimsby Town are at Blundell Park against the conference's bottom club Telford. The Mariners have a 5-point gap over 6th place Eastleigh as they look to consolidate their playoff place. And North Ferriby United make it a trio of local sides playing at home. The Villagers host Heddersford Town tonight ahead of the FA Trophy second leg on Saturday, and it's expected the squad will be rotated for tonight's game.
No injuries other than Danny Emerton's had a long-term injury, he's not quite ready yet, but I would think Billy will take the opportunity to freshen it up a little bit. It was a tough game on Saturday, and there's a squad of players who will be desperate to impress to get a semi-final berth on Saturday, I would think.
Scunthorpe United's League One rivals Coventry City have sacked their manager Stephen Pressley. The Scot spent 2 years with the Midlands club, but the side have slipped into the final relegation spot. Neil McFarlane and Dave Hockaday have taken temporary charge. Hull Stingrays American forward Will Frederick has backed his side to overcome the disappointment of consecutive defeats at the weekend when they play 3 games in as many days. The Rays are in Belfast on Friday night before back-to-back home games against Sheffield and Dundee. Please don't hesitate to get in touch if you've got any sports stories for us that you want to share. You can do so by emailing sport@estuary.tv, searching us on Twitter, on Facebook, or by giving us a call. That's all for sport.
Thanks, Dan. That's all we have time for this time. If you have a story for us, please go to our Facebook or Twitter pages. Details on the screen. Email news@estuary.tv. Until tomorrow, good evening.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Starting dry on Wednesday with some brightness, particularly to the east of the Pennines. Cloud will quickly increase, bringing outbreaks of rain from late morning. Widespread fog will develop, maximum temperature of 9 degrees. After a mild night, rain will quickly clear away Thursday morning, with sunshine and showers following.